I think one can embrace playing slowly, but not as a restriction, not as a compromise, but as a goal in itself. Because like slower tempoed music allows for kind of the expression of the melody, you know, in full clarity. Like when you condense a melody with speed sometimes, a lot of the nuance of the melody and a lot of the beauty of it can kind of just begin to evaporate. Like in other words, any melody at any speed is not the same melody. Like you up the tempo of a melody and suddenly something can be lost. Now something can be gained as well. There can be kind of like pulse and drive and rhythm gained, but there will very often be a loss. So when I was younger, I played slowly, intentionally, and I embraced it as an idea. And used to play like, you know, I would play like I'm used to play the grass B, but I would play it at this kind of tempo. You know, and so I could really make the tune speak at those tempos. The other thing was the old players were going on and on and on about the speed of the music, because
in a good way, or they didn't like it?
In a bad way, in a very bad way. They didn't like it. They were still complaining up in Clare, like about Michael Coleman when I was a kid. They were going, he was too fast. It was too fast, and because something was being lost in some ways at the higher speeds, and so Junior Crehan and Bobby Casey and Paddy Canny and Martin Rochford and Tony McMahon, you name them. They were all talking about this. You know, it was really an issue that the music was getting faster and faster and faster, and getting faster and losing rhythm and power at the same time. Like, because like you can actually lose the real pulse of this music at higher speed. In fact, it's actually when you have lost the pulse that the impulse to speed up comes, because you can go. You know, so that's the example of it there. You know, like getting as much drive and power, but at slower tempos. You know, because that actually makes sense to the dancer. It makes sense to the listener, and it makes sense for the player. Like, I understand, like, from a male point of view, the young man testosterone, high speed, drive it to the limit kind of stuff happens. Like, but that's, as you can recognize, like, very one-dimensional, and it doesn't come without a cost. You know, and the cost is like, what was that actual tune you actually played? Like, or did it matter? Like which tune you played, like, because they're all going at massive hyper speed, and so like the only message to pick up here is adrenaline and high speed, and like that can be fun. It can be fun for the player at times. I wonder if it's fun for the listener all the time. Like if every tune is fast, if you play fast, after a little while, fast is no longer fast. Fast is just numbed out. So it's up to the player to decide how fast is fast, how slow is slow, or what is the medium in between, you know, because like it's really about it should really be about the contrasts between those things, to use the contrast instead of just finding yourself, you know, pedal to the metal, like, which often happens. I understand it happens in a session, and the weird thing about it is that once the speed barrier is broken, people find it very hard to come back. You know, like once they stop playing at a certain speed, that's it. Once the genie is out, they can't put it back. You know,
right? That's right.